Welcome back to another Just Me session. And this afternoon, we are joined by the wonderful Russ Magnall. So, Russ, tell us about who you are and what you do. And obviously, called Russ because we kind of know that. But tell us what you do.
Yes. Well, first of all, Sid, thank you very much for allowing me to come on and join your journey. I have followed your work for some time and also looked at some of the other podcasts that you're on your website. And I feel very privileged to be part of that esteemed company. So genuinely humbled, and thank you for inviting me.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. So, so I'm a well-being coach now, specialising in helping people build unshakable personal resilience and strong mental health. But the story starts a lot earlier than that, Sid. I'm a Blackpool boy, born and bred.
Hey.
And the journey for me, you will know 30 years as a police officer, 7 years with a major retail company. The story really didn't start out too well, and you would never have imagined little Russ being in the police for 30 years.
Wow.
A little bit of a troubled upbringing for one reason and another, and kind of started with a little bit of a sad tale. And I'll share this with you, Sid, if I may. But there is a huge positive that comes from this. So when I was 8 years old, we were involved in a car accident, a head-on collision car accident, where my mum sadly died during that accident. Now, I start all of my training courses with this story. I was 8 years old at the time, my sister was 6. And to this day, it's still the most catastrophic incident that's ever happened to me.
Wow.
But the irony of the story is that fast forward to a career in the police for 30 years, how many times was I able to sit in front of people that had lost loved ones in similar circumstances and have empathy and compassion and go some way to understanding their grief and actually be able to find the right words to say, to be able to give them hope and some comfort and take them through those difficult times through empathy. And the final bit about that is the work I do now comes under the banner of Safe and Sound. And that is a tribute to my mum. Nowadays, when I was a little lad growing up in Blackpool, probably about 6 years old, there was a sweet shop across the road from where we lived. And I remember, I don't have many memories of my mum, sadly passed when I was 8. Don't have too many memories. But one of the memories is being given on a Saturday morning, if I've been a good boy all week, being given a few coppers in my hand, sent over the road to the sweet shop to buy some sweets. And my mum would watch me cross the road. But I remember her words, Russ, watch out for cars. I want you back safe and sound.
Wow.
So the banner, Safe and Sound, the work I do now is a tribute to my mum. So her memory lives on in terms of the story and being able to help other people on the back of that grief. But also in the title, Safe and Sound, a tribute to my mum.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. So why did you decide to join the police?
Yeah, it's a really good question, that, Sid. And again, as a young lad, certainly following the trauma, if you like, of my mum's death, I kind of went off the rails. And I got into a little bit of trouble with the police. I was kind of what you would describe as an ASBO kid. I was a bit of a naughty boy in Blackpool.
Wow.
Share that with you. But actually, the turning point was the way I was treated by 2 police officers.
Wow.
We'd been getting into a bit of mischief over there in Blackpool, and the van pulled up, 2 burly cops on the van. And they had 2 choices that day. One was to take me to the police station, of course, a criminal record, and that would not have been a good start. But their second choice was to put me in the van, take me home, and have the first sort of role model dad type of chat with me.
Wow.
What are you doing with your life? Where are you going? What are the consequences for your actions? And I think the way that those cops treated me on that day sowed a seed in me, a seed that said, I would like to be like that.
Wow.
I would like to help others.
Wow.
And that was kind of my early inspiration to join the police service.
How lovely. How lovely. And then when you joined, I mean, you achieved a lot, didn't you, in the police force?
Yeah. I mean, I go back to gratitude. Gratitude plays a huge part in my life. I'm grateful for literally everything that I have had. And that includes a great career with Greater Manchester Police, 30 years, PC, Sergeant, Inspector.
Wow.
The best 9 years, Sid, let me tell you, was that with dog handler. I'd always kind of fancied
No way.
dog section. Amazing job. imagine if you're listening to this now, imagine if you're a dog lover, you have your own dog in the
Yeah.
house, you go to work and get paid to be with your best buddy.
How many years were you a dog handler then?
So 9 years, nine
Wow.
years. And actually, there's an interesting story that comes out of that, Sid, in terms of personal resilience and strong mental health. See, I was never the biggest lad in the group. I'm not a big guy. I was never a fighter. I would never describe myself as a tough man by any stretch. Mr. Average, really. And even today, I have the underlying confidence issues, you know, the little bit of panic before something, you know, the nerves that kind of kick in. Even before this podcast, you know, the little bit of nerves ahead of it, perfectly normal. But the bit around the dog section was this. I call it dog handler determination. So the bond between myself and my police dog was iron strong.
Wow.
I loved that dog. That dog would have died for me, and I would have died for that dog. An incredible bond between a police officer and their dog.
Wow.
And that knowledge fueled me to great things. I knew that the training that we had from Greater Manchester Police was world class. That feeds into my psyche and drives me on. But there's another two things that feed in. The first is that of our community in Manchester. When they call for the services of a police dog, they're in trouble. They need something from you, and they expect you to do your best. And that knowledge weighed on me, not in a bad way, but in a way that fired me up to go above and beyond, to go better, to do more, to keep going, to catch the baddies, to catch the missing person, whoever that may be. And the final thing, Sid, around dog handler determination is this, is my colleagues. If they call for the services of a police dog, there's somebody in a house armed with a machete, a firearm, baseball bat, the chips are down for them. They're relying on me to do the business for them, to protect them, to bring a satisfactory conclusion to that incident.
Wow.
And that weighs heavily on my mind, but in a good way, in a good way. So when we add all these things together, when I add all these things together, when I turn up at an incident, whether it's to find a missing child, a missing elderly person, to detain a criminal, a burglar, somebody armed with a firearm, whatever it is, there is only going to be one winner, and it's going to be us.
Wow.
I kind of try to share that dog handler determination with people on my courses now, and with people hopefully listening to this podcast.
Brilliant.
You didn't come this far in your life to just come this far. You're stronger than you know. You're better than you know. It's about those sparks, those fires inside you, fueling them and using whatever you can around you, your experience, your life story, things you've learned off the TV, things you've learned off people around you, and firing yourself up to go above and beyond. And it is an incredible thing, Sid, an incredible thing.
So what, I mean, you touched on that in my next question in a way, but what have you learned along the way? Because that's a great career. And by the way, what was your dog called?
And my dog, so I had a female dog. She was called Anka, A-N-K-A, German Shepherd. We worked together for 9 years and went on to do incredible things. I'm very proud of the work that she did. She was the one that did most of the work, my friend.
Lovely. Yeah. So what have you learned along the way? I mean, what have been the key lessons as you've kind of grown through your career and your life?
Yeah, it's a great question, that's it. And I suppose having come out of the police now, so I've been out for 4 years, it's only then when you kind of look back and get the answers to that. What I've learned is you can't do everything on your own.
No.
It's really important to have a support network around you. And I definitely go to all the people, the 2 cops in that van on that day in Blackpool. I used to work for Halfords in Blackpool before joining the police.
Wow.
The staff in the shop who showed me the way. People who showed me how to communicate, how to deal with conflict. They taught me the values of hard work, teamwork, earning an honest crust. All of those things stood me in good stead as I grew up. The other thing that I would say in answer to your question is don't be too hard on yourself.
Oh.
It's something, even now, is something at times, I'm going to be honest with you, Sid, I wrestle with that. I want it to be perfect. I want it to be right. I want to deliver my best every single day. And actually, the proof in the pudding there is the sergeant and inspector's exams. I failed the law exams on both first time, beat myself up terribly around that, give myself a really hard time. And I think I would encourage people listening to this podcast to not be too hard on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you only kind of get that when you've got to the end of the journey, end of the police journey in this case, and you look back, because actually everything's going to be okay.
Oh, that's so nice. I mean, I have to say I love the police. I really do. And I know there is quite a bit of anti sort of feeling against, people like the police and the fire service. But honestly, all of the men and women that serve in all of those services are just extraordinary. There's brilliant people. So, I mean, I thank you for, being a serving officer for all of those years. Thank you. So what and who has really helped you along the way? I mean, obviously the memory of your mum, but who else has helped along the way?
Well, you know what, Sid? I go back to gratitude here, and I'm grateful for literally everybody that I've met in my life. So many people have helped me. So the staff in Halfords, teaching me those values, teaching me about service. The coaches, role models and mentors I had as a young policeman. I was 24 when I joined.
Were you?
Yeah, quite limited. A lot more hair as well. I know the viewers won't be able to see that, but I had a lot more hair. Quite jealous of yours.
Oh, it's a wig.
But I mean, looking back, I'm grateful for the tutor constables. I'm grateful for and you talk about the police, and I'm not going to stand here or sit here and lie to you. There are many areas where the police need to do a lot better, and I'm not going to defend that. And I know this podcast is not about that, but there are in and around some incredible police officers, men and women of every rank. And I think in answer to your question, Sid, I would pay homage to every single one of them who showed me the right way to be a compassionate, hardworking police officer.
Well, that's so nice. That's really lovely. I love the fact that you kind of that's a sort of theme that's gone throughout your whole life, isn't it? I love that. It's really nice. So, what obstacles have you had to overcome? I mean, clearly losing your mum at the age of 8, but what other sort of obstacles and barriers did you encounter?
You know what? When I hear that question, my mind automatically goes back to my own mindset. I think we don't have time today to delve too deeply into the childhood side of things, but it kind of left me with confidence issues, I suppose is the terminology. Always doubting myself, a big barrier, big challenge, always thinking that I wasn't good enough.
Wow.
You won't get in the police, Russ. You won't get past your 2 years because you're not good enough.
Wow.
You're not intelligent enough to take exams and pass any exams.
Wow.
You're not as good as all the other candidates who are applying to be a dog handler. You're not as good, Russ. And this is the internal chatter. These are the big challenges for me. So on the dog section, we actually excelled and went on to be part of the force display team. I remember walking out at the headquarters in Manchester in front of the chief constable, thousands of people with Anchor police dog, dressed in best kit, white gloves, white belts, thinking, how on earth did I get here?
Oh man! But where do you think that's come from? I mean, is that something that you had as a young boy?
I think it starts with a dream to join the police, dream to be a dog handler. Starts with a dream. I would encourage anybody to follow the dreams. I think it's Steve Jobs who originally said, the guy who, of course, gave us all the Apple products originally back there, 70s and 80s. Steve Jobs was the guy who said, follow your heart. It somehow already knows what you want to become. I would encourage that wholeheartedly. Follow your dream. Don't let people darken your sparkle.
That's really nice.
Ignite the fires inside you and follow your dream. Go for it. And also, if I may say, just for a moment, and I speak about this, in fact, only on LinkedIn this morning was talking about this very same thing. Watch out for that internal chatter. I'm not good enough. They're better than me. It'll never work. All of the negative stuff And I'm a huge believer, Sid, in catching those things, catching them and turning them around.
Brilliant.
I might not be good enough yet.
Wow. Love that. So what keeps you going? I mean, what really keeps you going when things get really tough? And I'm sure you've hit some very tough challenges, throughout your life.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good question. And I know listeners will understand some of the things that all, not just police officers, but all emergency services, our military colleagues as well, some of the stuff they go through, ups and downs. I think the example I will give there will be the Manchester Arena attack. So my team were one of the first to respond on the night. So I'm the inspector, it's my team, I'm responsible for their well-being, their welfare. But actually at that time, for Greater Manchester Police, all leave was cancelled, all rest days were cancelled, and all staff were put on 12-hour shifts. So it's a tough ask. You've no days off to recover.
Wow.
You've no time to decompress.
Wow.
And you're working long shifts. So we're kind of covering the normal day-to-day policing of the city, but we're also managing the investigation and the stuff that came from that, from the arena incident itself. So for me personally, I'm a wellbeing coach for Greater Manchester Police. I've also got the added responsibility for the well-being of our teams who went in there that night. So
Wow.
what about Russ? I'm tired, no sleep,
Wow.
running normal policing business as an inspector, looking after people who are ringing, working on a strategic plan, all of these things. So I would say, Sid, the toughest time of my 30 years.
Wow.
So in answer to your question, I will cite three things. The first is a mindset. Again, it's always about what you think. The first, my mindset that this will not last forever.
Brilliant.
It almost became a mantra. This will not last forever.
Brilliant.
The second one was around alcohol. So I don't drink a lot of alcohol, but I do like a drink. I cut out all alcohol for the period of time that we were working the 12-hour shifts.
Wow.
Because I know that alcohol interferes with my sleep. I know I don't sleep as well. Groggy in the morning doesn't lead to a good day at work. And of course, that all compounds itself. So I cut out all alcohol. That was number two. And number three, and there is a link here to the 5 ways to good well-being, the physical element. I was blessed that at the police station that I worked at the time, there was quite a comprehensive gym. And even during the 12-hour period, I would find just 20 minutes, uniform off, running kit on, still with a radio in my hand, lodged in the cradle, get onto the jogger, 20-minute run. Well, I say run, it was more of a fast wheeze. I'm not making out that I'm some sort of athlete here, because I'm not.
No.
But the point of that, it was the physical element. So it got me out of my chair, got me out of the van, whatever I was doing. It got the blood pumping, it got the oxygen running through my body. And I see it as a reset.
Brilliant.
It's a break in the day, a 20-minute reset every day. Still with the radio on, still directing police and operations, but a very quick break. Into the shower, cleaned off, clean uniform on, refreshed.
Wow.
Ready to go again.
I love that. That's brilliant. That's lovely. So if you could go back to your younger self, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Yeah, no, great question. Touched on this one earlier, so definitely don't be too hard on yourself.
I love that.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up. I think there's something around acceptance. I think there's something around accepting that, you know what, life is not always rosy. Sometimes the tough stuff is going to hit. Sometimes you're not going to get that job. You're not going to be able to go out with that partner that you want to go out with. Sometimes relationships will fail. Sometimes things will happen that you're not expecting. And don't be too hard on yourself. I think I would also give myself the advice to invest a little bit more.
Okay.
Invest a little bit more in my well-being. So what I mean by that is I would invest more time, energy, and thought in looking at the people around me. I'd be wary of those that drag me down. I'd be wary of those that are negative and toxic. And I suppose here nowadays, I would include the same advice around social media. Stuff that drags you down. I would encourage the younger Russ to look at the network around him.
Brilliant.
And I would definitely encourage the younger Russ to build in the people that lift him, encourage him, support him, and build the confidence. Now, on that one, Sid, let me just add one tiny little end piece to that one. I'm not on about just having yes men and women around me. You need people that will challenge you and actually tell you the hard message, the one that you don't want to hear.
Yeah.
But it's said with your best interests at heart, not in a toxic way, but in a way that lifts you and gently steers you down the right path.
I love that. And would that same advice, would you give that to others as well, other people when they're younger?
100% I would, 100%. I definitely, sort of all roads, Sid, tend to lead back to the personal resilience, mental health side, and definitely what we think. You know, we read nowadays everything that's going on social media. There's no secret about this. How much negative stuff is there on social media that, without us even realizing, can seep into our DNA, without us even knowing, and drag us down? I would say to any young person, in fact, any person listening to this right now, you are good enough. You have got a place. You are worthy. You are unique. Your story makes you unique. You have got something to offer. You have got something to give. Don't give up. Dog handler determination. Find whatever it is that fuels the sparks inside you and turns them into a roaring flame and will drive you to amazing things.
Oh, that's so lovely. That's beautiful. So what legacy would you like to leave behind?
So thank you for your nice comments. I think my legacy kind of started already. My daughters, Emily and Molly, are both in service of others.
No way.
Yeah, fantastic. Very proud of both of my girls. Very compassionate, very caring, both in service of others. I think my legacy, do you know, interestingly, Sid, when I go back to sitting on the interview panel to join the police, so the final interview to actually get it, and they asked the question, why do you want to join the police? And I can remember my answer as if it was yesterday. Sir, I want to join because I want to make a difference. And I would like to think that my legacy would be, I did make a difference. Not only as a police officer serving all of the communities of Greater Manchester, but also as a human being, helping people get through, equipping them with the skills, the tips, tools, and techniques to build personal resilience and keep strong mental health. I do it for military veterans. Yeah, I will do it wherever I can, Sid. Wherever I can, I will share tips, tools, and techniques. I will tell stories. I will do stuff to help other people. And that is what I would like my legacy to be.
So do you think that's your magic gift then in yourself, is to help others find that kind of spark?
I think it is. I think, you know, when you go to the magic and, you know, interestingly, going back to the confidence issues here, I find it quite hard to talk about myself like that. But if you're saying, Russ, you know, what's the magic inside you? I find it quite difficult to talk about. I'm okay delivering training and you know, talking to other people, but all of a sudden when the light is shined on me, I do still find that quite hard. But to answer your question, see myself gripping my knuckles now with nerves. I think the magic is being able to communicate with people, being able to connect with people, being able to be honest and authentic, to be real, to be able to offer people hope in a way that is honest and gives them hope and sends them on their way in a slightly better position than they started the day.
That's so lovely. There's a lady who works with us called Sarah, amazing lady, and she describes things as having a fizzy pop moment inside of you, you know, when you just like full of energy and something's amazing.
Mm.
So how do you get your fizzy pop? And I don't mean from a can or a bottle, but where do you find your fizzy pop, Russ? Where is it? Come on.
Well, do you know, interestingly, Sid, from the well-being perspective, the physical, I actually try and stay away from all pop. I'm a big fan of water. I do. But my physique, do you know what? So my nickname in the police was Tigger, because
Tigger.
I would not stay still. I would not be able to point out to one fizzy pop moment, because I have so many in the day. And I think that links to gratitude. And I know it links to helping others. So a fizzy pop moment is when I see somebody who maybe joined after me goes on to do better than I did. Fizzy pop. Fizzy pop is every single thing that my daughters achieve. Fizzy pop is sitting as a one-to-one with somebody in a well-being scenario who's having a tough time, whatever that might be, and seeing them get over that tough time, whatever that might be. Fizzy pop.
Wow.
Fizzy pop might be sitting at a breakfast club with military veterans and just making their day a little bit better. Fizzy pop. So I can't point to one, Sid. There's so many. And again, I feel privileged to be able to say that. It is a great life.
That's so lovely. And if you were to use one word to describe yourself, what would it be?
I think it would have to be compassionate. I think it would have to be that word, Sid.
It's beautiful. What I love about you, Russ, is that you've had 30 years of service, and 30 years in the police force can take people, can't it, and take them down a very insular route and see the world from a very kind of myopic kind of way. But you're not. I mean, you're such a giver. I love that, and I love the fact that you kept saying gratitude and in service of others, and I think that's a testament to what you're achieving. I think it's amazing.
And I kind of reflect that straight back at you, because it's been the amazing people that I've met throughout my journey, not just in the police, but before the police and after. Military veterans. We only light touch on military veterans when we look at what they've achieved for our nation in the conflicts of Iraq and Afghanistan. It blows me away. It blows me away. So I am privileged to have met so many amazing people, Sid, that have shown me the way.
That's so lovely. And I know that with the work that you're doing as a wellbeing officer and all the talks and things that you do, is that you just meet amazing people all the time, don't you? I mean, do you believe that things happen for a reason? Do you believe in kind of karma and the spiritual side of life?
I do. I definitely believe things happen for a reason. You know what? I talk about this in some of the work that I do under Safe and Sound, that I take a lot of strength from the knowledge that I believe my mum watches over me. I believe that she watches over me. And that fuels me on to do good things.
Brilliant.
And interesting, when you start to have that conversation with people, especially people who've lost loved ones, it can just bring a little bit of comfort for them, hope for them, something that can start to settle the feelings of grief. But also for me, at the end of the day, a nice feeling because I've helped them.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of self-serving sort of thing, really. One supports the other.
Yeah, that's so lovely that you've taken tragedy that happened at a very early age and you've used that in such a positive way. I really love that. It's really nice. Russ, it's been amazing. It's so funny because when Paula said, "Oh, you got to meet Russ, he's amazing," and I was like, and I read up about you, and I was just like, "Oh my God, he is!" And you really are. I mean, it's just so nice that you are absolutely Mr. Authentic, genuine. You're a great person. You really are.
Thank you very much.
And thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, can I just finish by saying again, Sid, thank you so much. I see the work that you guys do, and I think it's absolutely incredible. And thank you to all the other people that have contributed to your podcast, because I've learned from them as well.
Oh.
So our journey continues.
Well, you're very welcome. And seriously, Russ, thank you very much indeed. It's been a pleasure to meet you.
Cheers. Thanks very much.